Paltrocast.
Drew, Dean, a pleasure to be speaking with you both this morning. Things just keep getting better and better and better for Lonestar. The numbers keep going up, the chart hits keep coming, etc. Dean, did you know that you were going to be successful 30-ish years in, or is it a surprise and you had an exit plan and it got foiled?
No, I knew the whole time it was going to be this. The whole time. I know. No.
Right.
When basically I put this little band together, I'd moved to Nashville to try to be a solo artist, and it took me about 6 months to wake up and go, I'm not nearly good enough, and I'm going to have to figure out another path. And fortunately, I came across my talented bandmates, and we started putting this band together, and that what turned out to be just something for us to make music and do. I was working 4 other jobs at the time and nothing to do with what I wanted to do. And so this band was just really so we could play music, and that just to play music turned into a record deal, 10 number ones, 22 top 10s, and 10.5 million records. And I'm a pretty big dreamer. I got to be honest. I'm like a very big dreamer, and I couldn't have dreamed it this good. So we've been truly, truly blessed.
The word or the number 10 just came up a few times. And of course, 10 to 1 happened, came out last year. Then we have Iconic Volume 1, then we have the touring, etc. Drew, I'll give you a two-parter, and I'll first say, how are you? Because I rudely did not ask how you're doing. And then number 2, do you have a favorite song of the tracks that are on Iconic Volume 1?
First of all, I'm doing great. Thank you for that. It's just it's been a whirlwind, just a great year so far. Second of all, Iconic. I would say so in Iconic, we each picked out a song that's our personal favorite that we thought would work well with Lonestar, and the one I chose was Cyndi Lauper's "Time After Time." But after we recorded them, I don't know. They're all. It's hard to choose, but I think the one that was most challenging, I would have to say, was the Adele song by far, "Rolling in the Deep."
You're welcome.
Exactly. Jerk.
That was my song.
Mentioning Time After Time, and this is going to be a compliment right here. That's a song by Eric Bazillion, who, wrote a lot of great hits. In your case, Drew, you've had success co-writing. I could talk to you about Jack Blades for a long time, and Josh Abbott, who I've interviewed, etc. Do you like the term co-writer or song doctor, or no go?
No, I don't mind it. When you start making music as I did very young, I just thought everybody wrote their own songs. When I heard a song come out on the radio, I thought, I didn't understand the whole idea of a songwriter or somebody that is behind the scenes and pitches songs for artists to cut. So I that was part of me learning how to become a musician in the first place, was learning to write songs. So and collaboration is probably one of the greatest gifts in this business, is collaborating. And that's, I've been a band guy my entire life, and I think it has to do with the collaboration. And that's the same. It goes the same with songwriting.
In a good way, you've been signed to every major label at some point, Drew. But Dean, over to you. Rolling in the Deep, that was your idea. Am I hearing that correctly?
I picked that one. Like Drew said, each one of us was tasked with picking an iconic song that was recorded by an iconic female artist. And I've just always been a huge fan of Adele ever since she came out. And when it comes to, trying to pick a song for this iconic record, I mean, I couldn't think of a bigger song than that one, and a greater vocalist than Adele. And I just knew if anybody could pull this off, it would be Drew singing it and us as a band playing it. And I just love our take on it. It sounds uniquely Lonestar while still not straying so far away that people go, oh, they messed up Adele's song, So and I just think that Drew's vocal on it slays And
Oh,
I think she would be very, very blown away. She will be very blown away when she gets to hear it. And I think the band, I think we put together a pretty spectacular track for it.
And another track on there is a Eurythmics cover, and Dave Stewart has publicly endorsed it. How
yeah,
did
that's
that
pretty cool.
happen? Was it a case of your publisher sending it to Dave's publisher and going, check it out, and a surprise quote coming back?
He owes us money.
Nailed it. Nailed it. No, not what Drew said, what you said. No, he definitely our publicist actually works with them as well, and just send them the track, and no pressure. If you like what you hear, if you want to make a quote, great. If not, no big deal. And fortunately, he loved what we did, and gave us a thumbs up. Which, man, what a huge compliment, the fact that he did that. Now, if we can just get Pink, Adele, well, we did get one from Fleetwood Mac,
Yeah.
well, from Mick Fleetwood from Fleetwood Mac. So if we just get the Adele, Pink, and Cyndi Lauper to jump in there, we're going to be on this thing.
I
Easy.
think so. So, Drew, I'll ask it to you, even though Dean will know the answer as well. What does a Lone Star set list look like these days? Because when you're talking about a band that's had 10 number one hits beyond the non-number one hits, people are going to be disappointed if they don't hear a number one hit or their favorite song. But at the same time, I know a band like yours, if you're doing a private gig, you've got your 45-minute set or your 60-minute set.
Sure.
So somebody who's seeing a typical headlining set from Lone Star, what's it look like these days?
Well, you touched on the fact that, 10 number ones and 22 top tens. There would be disappointing folks if we, strayed from that. So our set typically looks like a greatest hits, and then but we always splash it throughout the show with surprises. And this is a perfect example. This iconic record, folks, it hasn't been released yet, so we're starting our new show that we just worked up this week actually. So we're pretty excited to see faces, after we play some of these songs and see the reaction. But it's there's always and we always throw in different surprises that we have never cut. So just straight covers, just that we love to play. And it just, to me, our show is familiar from the very beginning to the very last note.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that all we want is for folks to go home smiling and to go, wow, I want to do that again. So I mean, that's what it all comes down to.
A question on a different end, Dean. And I want you to help with one of my stereotypes to confirm whether it's true or untrue. And in seeing the artists that you cover on this new release, it goes more into the rock spectrum. It's kind of flying away from country in a good way. Every time I see a modern country artist, I watch it these days and I go, they're clearly inspired by Mutt Lange albums, Van Halen, Rat, etc. Are you one of those people who had to hide those rock influences from that end for a lot of years?
Well, I'll come totally clean. I mean, out of all the band members, Keach, Michael, Drew, and myself, I'm like the least rock guy in the band. Like I'm, like I love all. I mean, we all love all the music, but like when it comes to what I'm familiar with and what I grew up with and what I, focus on, like what I like to listen to if I'm not, working is, I love old traditional stuff. I mean, the Gene Watsons and the George Straits and
Millsap.
Ronnie Millsap for sure. I mean, all that stuff is why I got into country music. So when it comes to our more, rock pop side, like when you hear recordings and stuff, and the guys have been so trusting and kind. I've produced with this iconic record the last 7 records on us.
Mm-hmm.
And to trust me with something like iconic, which is obviously not country, it was awesome. And but we don't hide like Michael and Keach and Drew. They've always had these great sensibilities. Drew's probably the most well versed in just music in general. Like he loves it all, like from singer songwriter stuff to pop rock stuff to obviously country. Michael and Keach, I mean, they are definitely our rockers in the band. I mean, you can just look at them and go, yeah, they're rockers. But they're very well versed in music in general as well. So I mean, I think our sound comes from all of our varying influences that come together in the right way at the right time to make what is the Lonestar sound.
And the follow-up question that not related to what I just asked, Dean, that Pro Tools session behind you that I can vaguely see on the screen, is that
Yeah.
Lonestar or is that just a cool backdrop?
It is Lonestar. It's actually Here Comes the Rain Again, which is on the iconic Volume 1 record. So yeah, it's that is a Lonestar song, but it is a cool backdrop too. Now that you mentioned, I didn't think
Very
of
cool.
it that way, but yeah, it's a cool backdrop.
You look professional.
It would have been a really good prank if it was just nothing, if it was just nonsense. And you want to hear?
You've been in this room while I've been working. I see.
Right.
There you go. And Drew, as I pointed out, a lot of touring activity, a lot of recording activity for Lonestar. Plus, you've had your success co-writing and all that. Do you have any solo stuff coming up, or is it all Lonestar all the time, forever and ever? Amen for you.
That's funny you asked that. I might release a solo record, but it's just going to be just quirky stuff that nobody wants to listen to in the first place. So it would be one of those things, and I would put it out on my own label, probably not even announce it. But I just like making music, and if somebody finds a song or whatever, that's a good question. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I write and record all the time, so I might as well put it out there. I don't know if
you're a bunch of creators who create stuff, whether millions of people are going to hear it or it's just for yourselves.
Right.
Yeah, it's true. And you mentioned as far as outside, I mean, we all write a lot, but Drew, I mean, he's had some big number ones outside of this band. He wrote the big Kenny Chesney hit. You want to sing them like a bar of it, Drew? Come on, do it. You can do it, buddy.
Lay on the spot.
Well, I don't know.
She's got it all, my heart, my soul, my wishes. That's enough.
See, he's got it all. He's got it all.
Made him sing without proper vocal warm-up, Dean. If he blows his voice out, it's on you.
Let me just tell you something. I've heard that guy. So he and I, we were riding together, and he wasn't feeling good that day. We finished this great song, and I was working on a track for it, and he had to sing the demo of it. And he was like, man, I think I'm gonna go on the bus and just lay down for a bit, if that's all right. He said, just wake me up when it's, you need me to sing. And I said, you got it. And he didn't feel good. He went and he slept for a couple hours, and I went in there and said, hey man, I've got this track ready if you want to sing, but if you don't feel like it, it's no big deal. And he goes, no, I'll come and sing. Straight from sleeping to and sang this amazing vocal on this song. So it don't matter. It's in the morning, no proper warm-ups, schwarm-ups. He can freaking do it.
Thanks, Dean.
Well, the last question before I let you both go is, all we really know about Lonestar are the hits. It's a band, 30-ish years of history, etc. But Dean, and I'll throw the same one at you, Drew. Dean, what's the number 2 passion outside of that and family? Do you race cars?
Used to.
Polka band? Where does the time go when you're not occupied with Lonestar and family?
Well, I'm a busy person. I can tell you that. I don't sleep a lot. I have a lot of passions, but music is a big part of it. I produce a lot of new talent and write with them, and then produce records on them. I just write in general. I had a song out with Kelly Clarkson and Jake Hoot a little over a year ago, a duet that they did that I wrote. I've got a new artist, Jess Kelly Adams, that's just putting out a song that I wrote called I Was. It's a duet with this influencer guy named Campaign. But I also have a commercial LED lighting company that I own. We've done like Circus in Las Vegas. If you go out there and you see all these beautiful pink lights on the outside of the building, that's all around Circus. My company did that. I mean, we do a lot. I mean, I've got a credit card processing business, so I do a lot of stuff. But I got to tell you though, I love it all, but Lone Star is where my heart is, and what I really pride myself on focusing on and making sure that we're always moving forward and keeping our fans happy.
Before I let Drew answer the same thing, it sounds like this interview is going to lead to some new things in Wikipedia. Dean also it went under the other ventures category, so I apologize in advance if
I'm gonna give you a 20-second funny story. For years and years and years, my son, so he never told his friends what I do, Lone Star, and he was probably about 13 or so at the time, and we were riding in my car. He's in the front seat, a couple of his buddies in the back seat, and I'm taking him somewhere. And one of our songs came on the radio, and he hears me go, "Oh, Dad, that's y'all!" And then one of his friends popped up, from the back seat, said, "I thought you said your dad's a light bulb salesman." So,
I've never even heard that story.
Yeah, so he was telling his friends because of my lighting business, that I was a light bulb salesman. He didn't tell them that, I'm also in this little band called Lone Star.
There's been times in history where it might have been cooler to be a light bulb salesman, but hey, I think the Lone Star thing is going to have to change. And Drew, the last word to you. The number 2 outside of music and family, is there a thing, or like Dean, is it that the solo stuff, the co-writing, that just takes up so much time? There are no side hustles and hobbies.
As far as side hustles, I'm not as good as Dean is at that kind of stuff. So my 2 things after Lone Star and family are, I wake up and I'll go fishing, and then I come home and I love to cook. So I'm always preparing food or trying.
He's a great cook. I mean, a great cook.
Thank you, bro.
The Drew cookbook could eventually happen.
Yeah, I mean, they're all stolen from other people, but all my recipes.
So were theirs, by the way.
Thievery upon thievery. Got it. Well, the bottom line is congrats to you both on this new EP, the prior re-record thing, the touring business being steady, and looking forward to what's to come from both of you in the near future. Thanks for the decades of great art.
Thank you,
Hey,
bro.
thanks for your time. And I want to tell all your viewers that if you haven't seen Lone Star in a minute, you need to come see this show. It is the best show we put out on tour. It's going to sound like a sales pitch, but I'm just telling you, it is the best 90-minute musical experience you'll have. Come see Lone Star. It's one you're going to want to see, and also pick up the Iconic record. It is stellar.
Paltrocast.